Okay, one, two, one, two. It seems we're ready to go. Alrighty. Hello, myths, monsters, all sorts of folklore and legend. Welcome. We're doing another epic stream, baby. This is just how things roll around. This is just how we do it. I hope everybody's doing well in this fine little evening that we have here, and we have a very special guest here. We got my friend Casey. Say hi, Casey.
Hi.
Hello. We're here. We're queer. We're reviewing epic. we're listening to Puppeteer. But yeah, we're gonna review more epic. We're I don't know. We're at the fourth saga, the Circe saga, and this is I don't know. This is a saga that I think is at least a little bit divisive. It's I don't know. It's well, at least some people love it, some people hate it. Well, hate, strong word, but I think there's a lot of contention with this one. I'll let you start off with your thoughts about this saga, Casey, because I think that I don't know it needs to be said, and I definitely know that we're going to disagree on certain things, and having you say your thoughts first, I think, would be a good first impression.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's one of my top sagas, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like top three easily. Um,
Mm.
One of my favorites of the saga is Wouldn't You Like, Hermes Singer is just really on point with that, like what would you call that? Sort of like maybe jazzy sort of sound
Yeah, he has a
to
kind of
it.
like
Yeah.
he has like a pop singer kind of voice, but
Yeah,
not in a
yeah.
bad way, in a very good way. Yeah, and
Yeah. I enjoy his singer a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean there are other ways would be my second favorite for that. I mean I don't want to talk too much or I don't want to go too much into it before we actually talk about it, but like
Mm-hmm.
uh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that, but yeah, just overall, you have positive thoughts about this saga.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I think it would be best to rank it first for me. I mean, I think I've talked about it with some other people. This is my least favorite saga. I respect
Right?
it. There's no bad sagas, and we're gonna come back to this at the end when we're looping back around to thoughts. I don't think there's a bad song in Epic. I don't think there's a bad saga in Epic, and I think the Circe saga does a lot of wonderful things. I think it does a very good job of like with other sagas of like setup action resolution. uh you know Hermes'
Mhm.
song "Wouldn't You Like" is amazing, and I'll talk about that most certainly. I love Circe as a character. I love her like uh I love her voice. I love you know it's there's a lot of wonderful things within this saga, most assuredly, but I personally believe that there are better songs, better sagas, and there's some things that I didn't love about this saga, which I will get into. I still love it. Like in terms of I'm ranking it a D in like an S through D tier list in terms of epic songs. In terms of like an album in and of itself, I would rank it a B personally. I think it's really good.
Wow.
But in terms of epic songs related to each other, I think it is not as good as the others. Still very good. We're gonna get into things. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about the individual songs in just a second. Uh, but yeah, that's that. Hello, Miss Kitsune. Good to see you. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna not not we're not gonna be heated. We're gonna discuss. We're gonna just be open. And again, I love everything objectively, and like even if these are my least favorites, I still think they're bops. They're still good songs. They still tell the story well.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know. I've been stalling. I guess there's no better thing to do than to get to it. So are you ready, Miss Casey?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. So first
So
up, yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say first up, Puppeteer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the story of this song is Odysseus and his men are on an island they discovered, and Eurylochus he has a secret he wants to tell, but then Odysseus is like, nah, bro, and so Eurylochus goes off, and he comes back. His men are gone, and Odysseus asks what has happened, and Eurylochus details the threat that is Circe, and there's a little bit of a scuffle where Odysseus and Eurylochus argue whether it is better to leave the men and live another day or to risk it to save them. And
Right.
that, and Circe is just set up as a powerful sorceress. And yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
there's it is a very good setup to the saga. It's very good. It sets up like some things
Yeah.
from the last saga. Like it was like there's like the crashing of the waves to remind you that like yes they just fought Poseidon, uh,
Right.
or like it's still on his mind. And there's the I love the little like lyre that comes in as like a little reference to the next song.
Yeah.
There's I think like Circe's ensemble of strings is a really like good instrument. They're very like eloquent but also threatening. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know, I love it. There's a bop, and obviously Talia Sindel does an amazing job as Circe. I love her so much.
Yeah. Of
She has so
course.
much like there's a feeling of like wit and elegance and scariness to her, and also like kind of like a warm vibe as well, which is good because she's an alluring sorceress. So I'd say that there's a lot good with this song. I don't know. Like, what are some things you like about this song, Casey? We'll detail some of those before I go into some of my criticisms.
Yeah. I mean, I do think the song characterizes her very well and like gives a good introduction and bridge between the sagas, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Something else is I think it does a very good job of like setting up the theming so that when it calls back to it later with the later songs that you actually like get a little bit of that, like it really ties
Mm-hmm.
it together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the reference in there are other ways. Yeah, like I think so too, and I think again the story. I think the story is great. I love the like. This is another part of what I like to call the Eurylochus arc, where like you see him like and his cowardice and how that affects him and how he's lost as a
Yeah.
character and very flip floppy. And I love that, and like you see that within this like arc, and he has a reasonable request, like like think of all the men we have left before there are none. Like that's a good line, like and
Right.
that's a fair reasoning. Like like we've already lost so many, let's just cut our losses. And Odysseus, still having some twinge of mercy left, says, I need to save my men. That is the promise I made to get these 600 men back, and I'm going to cherish every last one, even if I die
Yeah.
trying. And I don't know. I love that. And I don't know. I also I also really love the instrumentals. I love the strings and like the little melody at the beginning where it's full speed ahead and also luck runs out a little bit is
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. My main problem with this song, one, I think lyrically there's some parts of it that are a little bit awkward and some things that are like, you know, it's a little repetitive lyrically with like, some of the things like Circe just keeps saying, I've got all the power. It's like, yeah, we know. We know you have all of the power, hun. You can stop talking about it now. And there
Yeah, I mean that wasn't really my issue with it.
yeah, again, I'm just speaking from my own heart just at this point.
Right.
Yeah, and I also wish there was like there's some things that are set up like, the like again like the little lyre that's played and
Mhm.
other things, but I do wish there were more like cues that were set up like for later or called back to. And this is just me personally. I am not as emotionally invested in this song. Like story wise, I am invested. I'm like, okay, there's another like good point of character. But I also, I don't know, like when I mean, coming off of the last song, like Poseidon is terrifying. He's like this
Yeah.
like god amongst mortals. He kills over 500 men, and like you feel that terror, you feel like those emotions. I don't feel that as much with Circe, just because that it is a little bit of an unfair comparison, I do know, but I don't feel I feel it enough where I'm still invested in the song. I'm not like, oh, these are just people singing lyrics. Like I still know that these are characters, but
Right.
I'm I'm not as emotionally invested in them as I would other songs.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you? Do you have any I don't know,
Yeah,
criticisms or anything within this song in
I do.
particular?
I do. Um, well, yeah, I think this was a song that was like very necessary to like
Mhm.
fulfill its role in the
Mhm.
story. but I think standing on its own, it's not that strong of a song itself. Like, it's an
Yeah.
intro song.
Mhm.
It ties things together, but it
Yeah.
doesn't really do anything on its own.
Yeah.
That's just what you
Yeah.
get with intro songs.
That's some of what I was. That's what I said within my notes. I took notes. Every song was like, you know, a good setup, but not as amazing as some others.
I feel like it's hard for like an intro or a bridge to really hold someone's attention on its own without like its own really good hook.
Yeah, I,
Like, and that's rare to find in those.
I think Epic does do that. Like for example, for me, Polyphemus, the this is the first major threat, and also there's like the instrumentals are so like threatening and sudden. It's the most. I think it's one of the most intense songs of the musical. Even though no killing is done in it, it's just so threatening. And other songs or the underworld later that's
Mhm.
just terrifying. All the screams and all of the dead soldiers you see like that. I think that one hooks it well. And then other in the second half of the
Yeah.
musical, there's certain songs that are bridge songs like you've talked about. Like I think "Will Be Fine" or "Charybdis" or bridge songs. But I think I don't know. I think they also have like a decent enough hook, and this song does not have as much of that as I think like the biggest thing it has again is like how it develops Eurylochus's character, which is nice and I really
Yeah.
enjoy that. But I don't know. I just want
A
more.
really good intro song I would say was Suffering from
Yes,
Thunder Saga,
that's a
honestly.
that's a I think
That's one of
that's a great
that's one of my
intro.
favorite openings to an album as
Yeah,
far as like the sagas go.
yeah. But yeah. Anyways, I guess I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Is there anything else I should say about this? Yeah, I think I think yeah. Let's see. There's a I don't know. I think one thing, I guess another just small detail that I do like about this song is there's acoustic guitar, and again that shows that Odysseus still has some level of humanity left. It's still there, and it's being played more softly, but it's still there, and that it you know it is close to being dead though, and I don't know. I think that's nice, and
Yeah, he's on the edge.
yeah, he is most assuredly on the edge, and uh,
Well, yeah.
yeah. Uh, also, Circe having the secondary instrument of like a kick drum, like backing her beats, is really nice. It adds this kind of
Mhm.
heartbeat effect to it. Like, oh, there's tension. I think that was a nice thing to add for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tension or like maybe like just the rush of her charm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and also I know I forget the exact terminology, but like Jorge has described, like oh, like each god gets like something electronic, and the Circe gets like a kind of wibbly wobbly effect. That's the best way I could describe it to her instruments, where it's like there's a like da 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 da,
Lilty.
like it's like going back and forth of with certain things. Like you can hear it. I think most clearly in Done For, where you you know like when she's like, I don't know who you are, know why you're here. Like during that section, the violins are kind of there's like a
Well,
distortion
yeah,
to it.
she has very like I want to say sort of like a salsa sort of
Yeah,
style of yeah.
yeah. I mean also her music is very heavily inspired by Carmen. Like the da 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 da, like that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that exact sound or similar to it is at the start of Done For. But yeah,
Salsa.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I guess I don't know. There's not much else to say. I don't know. Also, I will say this is something I wanted to do for each saga. With each review, I wanted to talk about something that I think each saga does well. And even though I don't like the Circe saga as much as others, I think stylistically this is one of the best. I think the style is all of its own, and while all the songs have those are different and they excel in different things, I think that they all have a similar vibe, which is nice, and you can tell with the strings and the way it sounds. Like I don't know, it all comes together nicely. I think stylistically the music, yeah, like you're talking about with salsa music, it's it is salsa, and yet it is also epic. You can tell that this is like the
Yeah,
same like
but you don't.
musical.
The thing that I liked from this song when I heard it coming up after like the first three, right? This is the fourth one, right?
No, I'm ta- I'm talking. Yeah, yeah. This is the fourth saga. Yes.
Yeah, so after listening to like, because I listened to them in order originally,
Yeah.
but like coming on after like the first three where you had a lot of like, heavy drum beats, like it was very like war focused. Going to this was honestly like refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like the fact that it sets itself apart like that really does a lot for the album in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so, and I think yeah, like I've said before, there's a certain level of elegance to all of these songs, which I think add like some sort of distinguished feature to it. It very much is
Yeah.
all of its own, and I respect that. But yeah, I have not really much else to say. I I don't know. I'm going to rank it, and this is going to be a bit harsh. Despite all my compliments, I'm going to put it at D. I just don't like it as much as other songs. It's still
Uh,
good. It's still good, but not as good as others, in my opinion.
okay.
Yeah, where would you rank it on like an S through D kind of tier list?
I'd give it a I'd at least give it a C. I'd
That
give it a solid C.
that's understandable. That's fair. Yeah. I get.
Like it's a trooper. It's not gonna sell itself to you like on a silver platter, but it's it does its job, and I think that puts it up above a D for me. Like I'd only
Mm-hmm.
put give something a D if there was like some significant flaw to it, honestly.
Yeah, I think for me that significant flaw is the again the lack of emotional attachment and some of the lyrics being repetitive. Still, I still really love it. Again, this is D by epic standards. By song standards, this is a B, like a B in my mind, but in epic standards,
All
this is
right,
a D.
fair enough.
Yeah, that is just how I rank
Got
it.
it.
You rank things however you feel personally in your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Anyways, I guess are you ready to go on to the next song? Wouldn't you like?
yep.
All right. So within this song, as Odysseus is walking through the forest, he hears a voice offering help, and that help comes from the messenger god, the god of tricksters, Hermes, darling. And he offers Odysseus a magical flower, root called the holy moly, that once he eats will give him immense power to fight Circe. And this is very much like a as Jorge has described, like a power up before a boss. And yeah, I mean, I love this song a lot. I love
Oh,
Hermes. I think that he is characterized so well. He's just a helpful little twink of a man. He's just so happy to be there. He's just a little guy. I love him. He's just a little guy. He's
he's
just so
mischievous.
cute, and I don't know. I love him. I love I love the choice of synths and harps as his instruments. I really love synth pop and synth rock, so I approve of it most assuredly. I the lyre is also a nice instrument that shows up within that song. The yeah. Yeah, as you said, Troy Doherty does an amazing job as Hermes. He just has just this infectious, like fun-loving charisma that
Yeah.
I don't know, brings it all together. And like I don't know, there's a lot of fun lyrics, like the little like not exactly rap but quick fire section of here in the roots of this flower there lies such a power to take her on. Like that's a fun lyric, and I don't know.
Yeah, he does good rhymes.
Yeah, and uh, and yeah, I also love the like. I think emotionally we needed a song like this because after like two sagas where there was not much reprieve at all, and then the start of this one where it's like, oh, six men are gone. Like I think emotionally we needed this song. Like we needed like some people would call it filler, but I think emotionally it does a good job of like resetting us. Like okay, we're having some fun. We have hope that things will be okay, and
Uh-huh.
Hermes is here to help. And I think yeah, again, story wise, like people are like, oh, this is filler. Like you could have just put Hermes on at
No.
the end of of Puppeteer, and I'm like, okay, that was the original plan, and that would have been really dumb. that would have been that would have been so, I don't know. It would have been interrupting, I guess. It would have kind of killed the flow. I guess we're just like he
Yeah.
just he's like, I have to try, and then it's like, oh, I'm here, I'm Hermes. There you go. It's like, and then we go to done for. I feel like that would have been really bad, and I don't know.
So I feel like Hermes, although he's not like that much of a major character, is such a like how do I put it, like such a well-made character, well-designed character, that I feel like he does deserve his own song of like,
Yes, agreed.
yeah, he's doing is giving him that flower, but like Hermes represents like defiance of the god's will.
Yeah,
And they
Odysseus is great at doing that.
right. Like Hermes is very much like I would really love to get under the god's skin right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like Hermes is Hermes and Jay. Yeah. Well, there's the Hermes and series with a lot of characters. Anyways, but yeah, I think yeah, like it's yeah, he definitely represents a sense of fun-loving rebellion, and I don't know, like I think like again this was this whole song was needed, and like to have like a reprieve and to have like yeah, technically not much happens, quote unquote, but to have like it's important to have a pause. It's important to have a pause sometimes in a narrative to catch your
Well,
breath, and because you can't always just go at every story. And I think
yeah,
to have a pause where it's just a nice little reprieve of just being able to just take it in and like have help. Like I think story
mhm,
wise, what this says is this is like not every god is evil. Not every god will like will harm and hurt and will just
right.
betray you. And that is set up, I think, just emotionally, like and like yeah, I don't know, for like the wisdom saga, for like when Athena comes back, it's like okay, yeah, maybe a god can learn to be like good and helpful to and not be so ruthless. But yeah, I love this song a lot. What are your thoughts? I know I've been talking a lot, so you go,
No,
Casey.
you're good. I mean, like I don't think it just represents a break. I think it also represents like a change in a change in tone for honestly the entire series leading up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go from like I was saying before, just like the just constant struggle, the drums
Mm-hmm.
of war, losing guys, learning hard lessons, and then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
wait, we're starting to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
we we got someone in our corner again.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make this work.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's I don't know, it's just fun to get that.
And it leads you on this push from uh the last two songs of Circe into Underworld. Underworld's next, right?
Yeah. Underworld is next. Yes.
Into Underworld, where like he's he gets there, he realizes that he can do something, and like then he has to learn the hard truths of life.
Yeah. Exactly. Like yeah. Like again, this is like this, and also
It's a
I
climb.
yeah like
It's a climb from where he was. Yeah.
yeah, and I think like yeah, this and the end of this saga, which we'll get to when we get to, is like there's like a sense of hope within it. There's like a oh, he can like you know he can get through
Right.
this. He doesn't have to like cause any more pain. He does like things are getting better, and then yeah, like you said, like it just gets worse, and like
Mhm.
he takes the only option he thinks he has left in Underworld, which yeah, I think this is a good setup for. I don't know. Do you have any like? Do you have
Yeah.
any other thoughts about this before I go into my one criticism of this song, and it's very slight.
Um, let's see. Uh, I mean, we've talked about basically all of my favorite things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that covered everything.
Yeah. The one thing I will say that I wish was not like bad, but more like I wish there was more of this in this song, which is, you know, I'm judging these songs based off different like things, you know, like lyrics and instruments and like how
Hmm.
emotional is it and how, like story wise. And the final thing I have it judged is thematic cues, which is basically like, you know, does it set up something? Does it have like a cue from another song? And like, you know, it like compounding upon the themes or like, you know, is it, you know, stuff like that. And this song has a little bit of that, like with, you know, the lyre like setup and
Right,
payoff from the previous song, and the
right.
like the setup of, you know, Hermes, thank you, don't thank me, friend. Like that'll show up in Dangerous, but besides that,
Yeah,
there's, and I guess also you could argue the like, you know, Apollo getting the lyre in God Games, but besides that, like there's not really that much, and I wish there was more because Epic is really good about celebrating itself, and like I would argue that the song beforehand, Puppeteer, had more like cues than this one did, and like did better with stuff like that.
well, I think this song sold a lot of itself in its like energy. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it needs a lot of
Yeah,
that.
it doesn't
I
need it.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, um I mean, just in its energy alone, I think it did a great job of like setting the tone for like
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the album.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think like yeah, again, it doesn't need it. I just wish there was more of it because I think Hermes' next song has like really good thematic cues. But it's a minor problem in the grand scheme. This song is still great, and I would put this personally in A tier. I really like it, and I it's always a bop. It's always something I listen to, and I don't know. Honestly, I want to fucking do a thing where I like play that song and just like help someone. I think that would be fun.
You
Yeah.
want to be Hermes.
Look, so I want to be trans femme Hermes. Okay. Anyways,
Okay, I could see that.
yeah.
I don't. I This song is honestly S tier for me. It's one of my
Fair
favorite
enough.
songs of the entire series.
Fair enough. I think that's a fair opinion. This is definitely my favorite song of this saga, and I don't know. I love it a lot. Like it does a lot of things right for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
All right.
let's see.
So that'd be done for.
Yeah, we'll move on to Done For if you got nothing else. Yeah, you
That's
know,
it for me.
alrighty. So yeah, Done For. Done For. In this song, Odysseus enters into the temple of Circe. Circe threatens to, you know, to kill him with her magic, and he, with his cocky overconfidence, is like, "Bitch, I got magic too." And then they start a fight, and that fight has her summon a chimera, and Odysseus summon the biggest monster he can think of, which is a cyclops. And the cyclops gets the upper hand, and then Odysseus pulls a blade out on Circe, and she, you know, she says everyone's true colors are revealed in acts of lust, which is the setup to the next song. I'd say okay, this song, there's a lot it does right and a lot it does wrong. In terms of what it does right, I think lyrically there's a lot of really fun lyrics in this song. The singing is really good on both ends of Circe and Odysseus. I love, you know, I don't mean to tip your scale, but you will fail at placing any spells on me. Like that's a fun melody,
Right.
and instrumentally, like the way that like Circe's magic effect gets affected on Odysseus's electric guitar is great. It's such a good catchy kind of battle song, and you really do feel the battle of these monsters. And you know, sound design wise, I love that you hear the roar of the Cyclops and the like the roar of a lion in the background. And
Hmm.
I don't know. I think this song, it's real, and it gets you really excited. I think emotionally, like it's really good. It's great. It's great to have a fight where Odysseus can win, because every other fight
Uh-huh.
against like, you know, against the Cyclops, it looked like he was gonna win, and then he didn't, and then he had to outsmart him, and then against, you know, against Poseidon, there was no way of him winning. So like, yeah, and like so far, like against gods, there, like, you know, he felt so minuscule compared to them, and that he would just lose. But uh, you know, within this song, it shows, oh, he actually beat her. This is exciting. This is interesting, and
Hmm.
I don't know. I love that. I love the I don't know. I don't know. and I love the tension at the end of this song because it like leads up into the next, and
Right.
yeah, and I do love some thematic cues, like you can hear like Odysseus's theme, which is ba da ba da ba 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 ba. You can hear that, and
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot this song does right, and I do get hype whenever I do listen to it, up until a certain point, which I will discuss in my criticisms later. But yeah, there's a lot that this song does right. It's really catchy, and I'm really hooked by it.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on this song, Casey? What do you like about it?
Um, I enjoy this song well enough. It's not one of my favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my main thing was like the storytelling aspect of like the fact that they're like summoning creatures and just like doing
Pokemon
battle with,
battle.
yeah, just Pokemon battling. And I'm like, this just doesn't feel on theme for what Odysseus can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that the Holy Moly gave him magic, but like, at the whole like summoning monsters thing just doesn't feel on brand for him.
Mm. I
Um,
Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
fair. I think yeah, this is definitely a departure from the usual like feeling of epic. I definitely agree with you there.
like if like the way I like the way I would have seen it happening is like Odysseus giving himself some sort of like buff to handle the chimera on like with his own hands. Like that's very on brand for Odysseus. But then like you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think yeah. I have a question. So like theoretically, like within, wouldn't you like if Hermes said something along the lines of this will give you a power boost enough to slay a beast, and then he came in and did like some sick move to slay the chimera, then would you have
Right.
preferred that?
I think that would have been better from a storytelling aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't remember exactly what happened in the play. Um,
Uh,
but I don't remember any combat
uh, with
with Circe
within the
specific.
original text of the Odyssey, Circe, the Holy Moly, basically is just defensive because Circe,
Yeah,
it uses a spell to, you know,
yeah,
entice the men, and then the Holy Moly is just defensive, where she tries to do it to Odysseus, and then he's like, "Nope, I'm defended. I'm going to kill you now." And then she says, "Whoa, whoa,
right. There's
whoa!
no,
Sorry about that. Let me restore the good vibes. Your men are back. Here's some food. By the way, I'll sleep with you because I'm an unmarried woman." And then he did, because that was technically
yeah,
allowed at the time. Uh,
right.
yeah, but
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So this was a little weird for me, like storytelling wise. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of that threw off the vibe for me.
That's understandable. I have some criticisms with the story myself, which I'll get into in a second after you're done with it. With your
Um,
thoughts.
but I think the tone of the song was nice. I mean, like it definitely was like a decent like bridge into their other ways. Um, for me, I don't feel like the song stands on its own very well
Mm-hmm.
at all.
I think,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
I I think that's totally, yeah, that's fair. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you if you had anything more to say.
that's all.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's understandable. I think I agree. I think that is like a minor criticism I have with the story. It's something that I would be willing to get over. If that was the only problem I had with the story, because like, yeah, it is a bit strange that they're doing a creature duel. But to be fair, it was again, to be fair to Epic, it was set up, and it's not focused on. But to be unfair, I think that's the problem, that this song is too short. It's less than 3 minutes, and I wanted more time to that fight, because it was set up in like, oh, in Puppeteer she's this big strong sorceress, like how are we going to defeat her? And then Hermes comes
Right.
in and says, here's this magic flower, this will give you the power to defeat her. And and he also says, like, you very well may die, good luck. And then after about 20 seconds, he just gets the upper hand and then wins, which is I
Yeah,
wanted more, because if
yeah.
there
You
was
don't see.
yeah, you don't really
Sorry.
hear. No, it's fine. Yeah, you don't really. Yeah, yeah, like you're saying, like you don't really see the fight. Like it's only for 20 seconds, and it's so
At
small.
most. And then
Yeah.
even then, like there aren't any audio cues or anything like in the percussion or in the instrumentals to suggest
Yeah.
that a fight even started.
Uh,
Like I was like, oh, did it actually what happened?
yeah. I
I guess he drew a blade.
Yeah, I think I guess again to be a little fair, you know you do hear the roars in the background, and then you hear like the poof, and then the shing, like it's like okay the Cyclops hit it, and then then Odysseus pulled the knife on her, like but yeah like
And then the thing, yeah,
yeah like
it just
it's
happened out of nowhere.
but yeah it did just happen like I wanted more if this song was like even 30 seconds more where and they were like talk fighting a little bit whereas like like making like jabs like oh your beast is getting out of hand stuff
Yeah.
like that and then
Or just
like
like yeah.
I honestly I think this could have been a fun setup for mutiny like this is my thought
Well, I
which
mean,
is
like,
what
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say a fun thought I had just now, actually, which is like, if Circe said, "I am not letting you get in my way," and then like got defeated, that would be like good irony for later in Mutiny, where he says that and then he gets stabbed. I don't know. I think
Fair.
that could have been fun. But
I guess he wasn't that far ahead.
yeah, still yeah again it's just too short. I just wanted more, and that's what like sucks so much because I think this fight would have been really cool, and also I think somewhat this diminishes Cersei's threat potential. That was set up because like oh she just gets defeated in 20 seconds, and like
Right.
it's I
And she
just
didn't have any backup
yeah
from
like
like one spell.
yeah like it like even if your beast fails fucking yeah cast some spells but no he just pulls the knife on her and then he's just like okay you lost and it's like
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah, it was a bit little bit anticlimactic.
yes very and that's what kills it if I think if the song was longer and there's more of the fight was like yeah like you said like said and there's like and they were doing like some quips in stuff like that whereas like your beast is getting
Anything.
tired or something like that
Anything.
I would have put it at like a B rank but I cannot like give it higher than a C for me personally.
Honestly, I would have put it down at a D.
That's fair. I respect that. I don't know. I still think the beat is so much fun. I love the instrumental and the lyrics. Like, a fight is there, but it just gets cut short, and that's why I don't like it as much as other songs. Because it's just there should have been more.
A chatter says Transcend Hermes would be
Yes.
extra slay.
Yeah, it's my friend. That's my friend Sky. Thank you. Indeed, Sky. She would be Slay. I fucking. I'll dress as her one year for Halloween. I think part of it being shorter is because of one of the few song sets lead directly into each other seamlessly. I think yeah, that's fair. And there are songs like that in Epic, but there are other songs where like like that still lead into each other that aren't as short. Like I'd say like
Yeah.
Polyphemus, like it's given the exact amount of time it needs, but it still leads into Survive. Like that, like I don't know,
And
like
Percy's already a short album.
yeah, like I think Circe Saga is like maybe 16, 17 minutes, and then other sagas are like,
Not
like
even it. And it's only 13 minutes.
oh really? Circe's only 13? Yeah, yeah. Then it's only 13 minutes, and then other sagas like Thunder, for example, is 17, and then Vengeance is 22. I think Ithaca is like 18. But yeah, like there's other like yeah
I
there's
think Jorge just didn't know what to do with this album. I like that it had some great notes. I don't think he knew what to do with this
I
arc.
I Epic
I
is still
think
technically a concept album,
Jorge.
so there's
Yeah.
there's still more that needs to be done. Like, I mean, to be fair, let's like Hades Town was like a concept album, and there were some rough spots to it, and then they made the official cast version, on Broadway, and then it was refined and it was great. And I think Jorge is listening. Jorge, if you're listening, buddy, you're great. We love you. You're awesome, Mr. Jalapeno. We have a couple notes.
No,
I no, it's fine. You gotta learn to take criticism as an artist. Like
not the jalapeno. No, no, I respect that, but not the
that's his
jalapeno.
name. That's his nickname, Mr. Jalapeno. That's what he goes by sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Do you think I would just pull that out? No, I respect him. I love this man. He's
I I
great.
I thought you were making like a fucking
Do you think
what's his
I would
name?
make
Jeff
that kind of
Dunham.
joke? I'm not a middle school boy.
I thought you were doing like a Jeff Dunham thing. I'm like, what
I
is
no,
scary?
I would. I wanted to put this out here. I do not want to be associated with Jeff fucking Dunham. He's a fucking leech of a man who has no dick, no balls, and sucks really hard. Jeffy boy, if you're listening, I
No,
hope you die in a hole in Florida. Go fuck yourself. God, I fucking hate Jeff Dunham. Anyways, Epic the musical. Okay.
um, we're at there are other ways.
Yeah, anyways, yeah, this song gets a C. I really like I like a lot of it, but I wish there was more. And also I wish there was more thematic cues. Like, there's like the wibbly wobbly of the instruments and the roar of the Cyclops and the little thing that Odysseus has, which is nice. But again, I just wish there was more. Anyways, yeah. I I guess we'll go to their other ways. There's nothing else I can really, nothing else I have to say about that. Okay. So this is like the song of this saga, I would argue. This is
Yeah.
the Circe song. And within this song, Circe tries to, you know, tries to make Odysseus lust over her, tempt him with her
Mhm.
body. And at first he goes along with it. He's falling under her spell. And then at the last minute, he pushes her away, says, back at home, my wife awaits for me. And he, after begging to Circe, she caves and says, okay, I will help you. I'll take you to the underworld, where there's a prophet who will help you along your journey. And, you know,
I think
this yeah, and then
yeah,
she gives give him his men back and turn them back to
yeah,
normal.
yeah.
Uh, alrighty. So I,
So,
yeah, I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
oh, okay. Um, you know, I like this song a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's my second favorite song of the album.
Mm-hmm.
I just like Wouldn't You Like a lot. But no,
Same.
this is a really good song. I love like the danciness to it. Like honestly, I find myself swaying listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and honestly, you were saying like that she was swaying him, but honestly, I think a good amount of this you could argue that he was playing her here to try to like get her to peacefully release his
Yeah.
men.
Yeah. He was. Yeah.
Some of his humanity still coming
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah, I when I said sway, it's more like she was sexually swaying him, and then he was convincing her, like, "Oh, I'm just a man. I have a wife at home. Please let us go." But yeah.
No, yeah, but I think this was also him swaying her, is what I'm saying. Like there were two forces at play here.
Mm-hmm.
That's like there are no puppets here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and yes, I think like yeah, I don't know, like and he does say like like let us please Circe give us mercy, let us puppets leave. Like this is him groveling to a god, like genuinely, because at the sight of Poseidon, like he tried to talk his way out, like Poseidon was another human, and
Right.
and then with Circe, even though she's more of a minor goddess, he begs. He says like it has been so long since I've seen my wife, and that yeah, and that gets to her, which I think is interesting. Yeah, it's nice to see like yeah, like you said, like mercy, open armsness is like it paid off here, and it shows that like Circe, like even as a god, can change, can turn around, which again I think is set up in some ways for Wisdom Saga, and shows that like someone who is ruthless can be merciful, and someone who is merciful can be ruthless.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. What do you have any other like notes you want to say about the song before I go on my little spiel?
Um my only thing with the song is I mean it could have been longer. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
the finale of the song and it's only 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it feels like it finishes right once it just gets going. There could have been like another shift to the song where like you see you see what happens after is she lets him go and they start making their way off, because like when that leads into underworld, they're literally just showing up at the underworld. There's no, they've skipped that entire section of story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
I They could have definitely done more with the song, in my opinion, on a lot of these songs actually.
Yeah. I think, people have said, like, oh, like certain sagas, like, needed another song of this happening, which I think definitely could have, I don't know. I think definitely could work. I think, I don't know. My personal thoughts on this song. So I think instrumentally it's great. It's very, like, it is a very seductive song, like, instrumentally. Like, I think the
Mhm.
strings, like, are all, like, they're more gentle and yet also deliberate and, like, forceful, like a femme
Yeah,
fatale. And I think something
you
that
can
is
definitely
interesting is
feel it,
hmm?
you can definitely see like the push and pull in the song. Like
Yeah.
I I see this very much as like Jorge stretching his legs, because you haven't really seen any songs like this before in the series
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't know.
or after, really.
Yeah.
It's a very unique song for the series.
Yeah, and I think again, like, yeah, like, like every other battle with a god has been like or a monster. It's like it's either a fight or it's or it's like you are afraid you cannot win this. Like it's one of those two. And then with this, it is seduction, which is interesting. That is the fight, quote unquote. That's the real fight. And
Yeah.
I think, like I was talking about stylistically earlier, I think, I guess to go back to the other songs quickly, wouldn't you like, I think, yeah, stylistically, it's like a pop fever dream, which is excellently done. Uh, Done for is like, stylistically, like, it is a fight song, in Epic, and yet it is also, again, it has that elegance, that, like,
Mhm.
uniqueness to it. And I think, yeah, with this song, yeah, this is a seduction fight. Like, this is seduction first, fight second. And that is really well communicated within this song. And you know I think, like, the layered, like, singing of, like, both of them singing different parts. It's like where she's singing the parts from Puppeteer and he's just like, I'm just a man. I think that's
Yeah.
very fun. And I think there's some fun lyrics, like, who's to say what back at home, my wife awaits for me.
Yeah, yeah,
She's my everything, my Penelope. And she's all my power. And I don't know. I think, like,
yeah.
yeah, I think,
Right. And playing on that same sort of like the same melody of
yeah,
like of their,
yeah. And you hear the Penelope
so
melody
much
within this
power,
song.
so much yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I think another thing this song does well, I think out of all of the songs of this saga, it has the best with its, like, cues that it uses. Like, there's, like, cues from Puppeteer, there's cues from Just a Man, like the
Mhm.
Penelope melody, like, it all works really well. Because, the Puppeteer cues are like, oh, she's putting a spell. Him saying, I'm just a man, is him. Because he always says that, or someone always says that whenever they're trying to justify something. For him, it was
Right.
justifying killing the baby, and then later it's Eurylochus justifying stabbing the cow. And you know, and then also the Penelope melody is like, yeah, even before he says anything, you know what he's thinking of. Uh, and
But
the
in this case it was him showing mercy on Circe.
Yeah, well, yeah, trying to use mercy so that she would mercify him. And also, this is something I actually just thought of now, which is in Mutiny, when, Eurylochus asks the questions, say something, I can't. You know, maybe it's unintentional, but, he says, I can't in here. Like, it's like
Right.
he, I don't know, he can't do something, like,
Yeah.
he can't do something so horrible. And then, in that song, he did something so horrible, and now he can't justify it at all. Uh, and yeah, but there's that. I I love the backing vocals coming back, because for two
Mhm.
songs and half of this song, there was, like, no backing vocals, besides, like, the god vocals that Hermes got, because every god gets their own ensemble.
But honestly, like the duet vocals really really sold this song for me.
I think they're very good. They're very appealing. I yeah, I really like them a lot, and I don't know. Again, I think like I think like again, Circe like having the violin first, like these are really her songs. Like those strings, those are hers. Like other characters get strings, but these are her strings. Like
Right.
and again, like Penelope
And
having
the
strings, it's like, you know, someone who is seductive, who's trying who in some ways is using love against Odysseus. It's like, oh, parallel to Penelope, who is someone that he loves.
hmm
Yeah. Um I have some problems with this song though that drag it down for me personally. I think it's still a really good song again, not a bad song in Epic. I personally just think there are some things that put it down for me. So
Yeah.
the first thing is like I don't feel as emotionally invested in this song as like others. Like, you know, within like a fight or like it's like okay, they're battling or like, there's other like moments of vulnerability like in Just a Man or even later on like I'd say in Love in Paradise. Like I think I got like more emotionally tightened at like, oh, someone's trying to seduce him and he like he says no. It's like I felt more there than here. uh and and I didn't, I just didn't feel it as much with, like, I could, again, I felt it enough where it's like, oh, him begging, like, okay, that's a vulnerable moment for him that he hasn't really allowed. But I didn't feel it, again, as much as other songs. And my second thing is, I think, again, like you were saying, like, there's not enough time for things. I wish there was more time, and I wish there was more setup for certain things because I think like the way Odysseus is using mercy to get out of this is great. I love that, and I love that part of storytelling. But I wish there was more of like finding out how like what this means to Circe because like she had she does say like, oh, I've been in love once before, so it's like, okay, she understands love, but it's like, I don't know, that I just wish there was more setup to it. And again, like, with like done for being so like short, it's like, okay, the threat wasn't that bad. And then same with this where it's like, oh, she tries to seduce him for a little bit and then he gets out of it. To be fair, it's more time here than in done for's 20 seconds, but I still just wanted more. And I don't know. I think like I don't know. I do like the setup to the underworld though. I think like the hearing like the wavy like screams or like choir in
hmm
the background was really nice. It's like, okay, scary shit is about to happen. So that's nice, but I don't know. Again, I just wanted more. That's the main thing out of this saga. I wanted more, and I like it
That's
more than
fair. That's
Puppeteer if that means anything. So I'll put it. I personally put it in D.
at D.
Where would you place it?
I'd have put it at an A, honestly.
That's
Like,
fair.
yes, it does have its flaws, and it's short, and you know, you okay. So you made a point about it not being as invested in this song, but I don't really feel like it's a song that's there for you to be invested at. Like I
Hmm.
think it's more of a song to build interest,
Mm,
personally,
I
and I think it does a good job of that.
mm, I think
Um,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going. I'll say my thing after you're done.
yeah, I mean, and the fact that it's a very unique song to the series, and it's pulled off very well, even
Hmm.
if it isn't that long,
Hmm.
puts it at an A for me. I think the length and the lack of investment are the only things keeping it from being an S for me.
Hmm. I I think for me, like the lack of investment, like is again another problem because like we talked about earlier, like Puppeteer, that's more of an intro and like you know an intro for things. So like it not being like, oh, like the most intense fight or something, it's like that just being an intro, that makes sense. I can forgive it on that front.
Right.
More so. But with this is like the final song. This is the big thing. I
Oh
wanted
yeah.
to be like invested, to feel like, okay, this is like things are coming together, and there's a little bit of that, but not as much as I would have liked. And I don't know. I feel a little disappointed. It's still fun. It's still a good time. And again, there's not a bad epic song. There's just some that I
Right.
love less.
Yeah. I guess the disappointment is for us individually is where it took it from and where it took it to. Because like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you didn't have those issues, what would have that it been at for you?
Hmm. If theoretically, like, it was a little bit more emotionally investing, uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, if it was a little bit more emotionally investing in, like, the story, like I felt more captivated with certain things. Like, if like even those two things were fixed, I personally, like, I would have uh I would have put it at a B. I would have put it at a B then. Uh, I,
See, yeah, that's where that's what it is like, um, I think um just at its core, I enjoyed the song. Um,
mm-hmm,
just listen to it. Like I still like to hear it. Um, I like the way it sounds. I like how unique it is still, and I think those put it bring it up to an A for me.
mm-hmm. I think that's fair, and I know, like, for certain songs, like, even with, like, the lack of, like, other things, I still love them. So I understand that feeling. Like, I know, for example, with Open Arms, there's certain things I wish it did a little bit more, but I still love the music and, like, what it does do so well, so much that it's an A for me. So I understand that, and I respect this song. There's a lot that it does right, and I think as a conclusion, it works well enough where it's like, okay, we concluded the story here, and we're gonna start the next saga. Like,
Right.
as it's as good, it works well enough. But and I respect you saying it's an A. I think, again, like I've said, stylistically, this this song is great. Like, there's so much, like, with the strings and, like, the seduction at play, and, like, I think, like the moment where, like, they're about to, like, start making love, and, like, there's, like, the piano, like, da 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 da, that part. Like, I think that's great. I think that's, like, where it emotionally hits, where it's like, oh no, he's about to do it, and then he says, no, I can't, and then the Penelope theme plays. Like, that's nice. I really like that moment. I think, again, this saga has a lot of great moments and a lot of great things to it. Like, there's a lot of parts that
It's
really work,
definitely
and
a
a lot of
flawed
that
saga. It's definitely a flawed saga.
it's flawed, and I respect that you love it. I think there are certain sagas where I think, like, despite their flaws, I love it. Like, as an example, my favorite saga, like, we're gonna get to it, is Ithaca, and Ithaca has some problems. Ithaca has some things I wish it did better, but I still love it so much for what it is, and I respect that you love this saga for what it is. And again, even with me ranking it at a D, I still love it
By
as a
Ithaca, do you
saga,
mean
as a
wisdom?
uh, as the songs that it presents. I just wish that there was more, and I hope that when Jorge rewrites this for the stage adaptation, or whatever future adaptation, that he rewrites some stuff and it comes together better, because I think he'll do great with that.
Yeah. Uh,
Excuse me. Oh gosh.
by Ithaca, do you mean wisdom?
uh what?
By Ithaca Saga, do you mean Wisdom Saga?
No, Ithaca is my favorite saga.
Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry. I was like, wait, where's Ithaca? I
Ithaca's
kind of
yeah, Ithaca is where he
lost.
murders all the people and then he gets back to his home.
Um, okay.
Yeah. Where would you place this saga, though, on an S through D, like, tier list? Like, where would you rank it?
Um, uh, sh- I guess I'd put it in a B, honestly.
That's
Like,
fair.
given its flaws, I'd put it on a B. I do, as far as like its high points though, I feel like if it didn't have all of its low points, it would be an A for me.
Mm-hmm.
But uh yeah, it's a very like hot and cold album, so I feel like that makes it very hard to place for me.
That's fair. Like, that's how I feel
Like
about
it has
Vengeance.
very high points and very low points, and
Yeah,
that really makes it difficult for me to put anywhere.
that's
So I
understandable.
put a B.
Yeah, and, like, I again, I love it well enough that I never skip a song when I re-listen to Epic. It's all of the songs. Like, when I do a full album, a full, like, musical listen through, and I still, even with me putting it at D, I still love it. I still think it's great, and I think I don't know, your mixed feelings of it are valid. Like how you feel about Circe is how I feel about Vengeance personally. Like there's parts I love, parts I don't. Uh,
Well, actually, Vengeance is I'd say one of my
yeah,
favorites.
I think there's a lot of great things it does, and I think
Actually, my favorite, in fact.
yeah, and that's fair. I think Vengeance has my favorite song of Epic, which is Dangerous. Uh,
I love Dangerous.
Hell
Also,
yeah,
Get in the What.
that
Honestly, but we're not gonna go into that too
yeah,
deep yet.
yeah. We're not gonna go into that. I'm gonna go into Vengeance with my with another one of my friends. So yeah,
No, yeah, Get in the Water is my number one song of the entire series.
that's fair. I mean fair enough. Uh, anyways, yeah, but that's my ranking for this saga. We did it. We got through Saga 4, and then
We're
I'm
done.
gonna, next time we meet, we're gonna, talk about Underworld. Before we go, we're gonna rate someone. Is there anybody in particular you would like us to rate, Casey?
Let me see who we got. Let me see who we got here. Um, psh, psh, psh.
Yeah, and if you got no one, that's fine. I got some
Well,
friends
I'll
streaming.
actually, oop, let's see here. Maybe Voxandra, or wait, I get there's no. Well, yeah, actually Voxandra.
uh, yeah, how's that spelled?
Vox
VOX.
AND.
Okay, ANDRA.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm rating a big streamer. Oh, golly. All right, well, we're gonna do it.
Oh,
You're
isn't
fine.
that big?
Eh,
She didn't used to be big.
it's fine. Well, you're the guest, and I will. I respect my guest's,
She's
wanting of
really
raid.
she's really cool. She's friends with my fr- she's friends with my friend.
Hmm.
She's a friend of a friend.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. Anyways, we'll read Voxandra. Before we go, I have some things I want to shout out. First of all, my lovely guest, Casey. Oh, oops, I forgot to update that. Shit. Fuck. Uh, oh no. Oh golly gee. Okay. Fucking give me a moment. Sorry, Casey. I have let you down. No, it's fine. Okay. But no. Yeah. If you want to follow Casey, it's you know, you can find her on Blue Sky. What do you post about, Casey? What hot stuff are you posting on Blue Sky?
Um, Trans Woman Hot. Also, um, Nintendo is cool sometimes when they make good games.
When they make
Also,
good
sometimes.
decisions. Yes.
Uh, and art. I
Yes.
do art sometimes.
Yes. Okay. Here. This is the ad on Blue Sky. Go ahead. Hold on. Fucking there. Okay. Follow Casey. Hold on. And then we got oh goodness, I gotta speed through this because I already pressed raid. Follow my stuff, follow my VTubing group, follow my art friends who've made stuff for me, and follow my friend Grace who made this model. Thank you so much, everybody. We're gonna do a raid. See y'all soon. Goodbye, my Miss Monsters, all sorts of folklore and legend. Bye bye. Okay, and it went through.